Hey guys, how are you? It is your girl Tanisha Shanee with with the message. This message has actually been on my mind, on my heart for quite some time, and I felt as though it is only right that I go live to share this message. As always, it's a God-inspired message. So I'm not just speaking because I want to speak. I'm actually very tired, but I know that I have to get this message out at this point. So I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. I know that it's only Tuesday, but it is Tuesday and it is a great Tuesday. And I hope that when we finish with this message, there's something that can really touch you. It can open up your eyes just to see maybe why things are not working the way that you want them to work. And this is something that I always have conversations about with my students, with people that I coach, people that I just encounter on a day-to-day basis. Because I think this is a part of the journey that a lot of people are not even aware of, or they are just really afraid to take that initial step of saying, I might really need to take an extra look to see what else I need to do in this journey. Okay, so, as always, I try to bring as many people into this so that we can all be inspired together to make some changes in our overall lives so that we can live the healthiest and the happiest life ever, right? I think that's only fair. All right, so, thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, I am Tanisha Shanee, international healthy lifestyle strategist, author, transition to a healthier you, and inspirational speaker. And this message was actually on my heart for about 3 weeks. Okay, and actually God answered one of my prayers a few months ago in regards to one of my dreams. I'm on my path, I'm living my purpose, and I'm like, God, what else is there? And I think that a lot of times when we are working out God's plan, we don't really execute it the way that we're supposed to. Hey, Katisha, how are you? Right? We don't execute God's plan the way that we're supposed to. So this is the best way that I can explain it. How many people do we know that never leave their community? And when I say they never leave their community, it's like they feel as though I was born here, so I'm going to die here. Now, that's all fine and dandy. However, God's plan might not work out that way. So when you're living according to your purpose and according to your plan, okay, I'm not talking about God's plan, when you are living according to your plan, if you feel as though that where you were born is where you must die, then that's fine. But when you are living according to God's plan, okay, that means that you have fully said, God, I am saying yes to your plan. I'm saying yes to your purpose. This is your will, not mine. But God can also kind of throw a little curveball at you. And a lot of people, this is where it gets shaky. So if you notice my previous status, I said, if you have a business and your business is not successful, is it because you're not in the right location that you're supposed to be in? Right? So, hey, Shanae. So what I mean by that, did God tell you to open up your business? Hey, Bridget, did God tell you to open up your business in the current location that you are living in? And if you really sit down and you talk to God, God might give you a whole nother city. God might give you a whole nother state. Some people are told to move to a whole nother country. But because we like to stay in our comfort zone, right? We like to say, well, God, no, I don't want to move there because I was born and raised right here. Why do I have to leave my neighborhood? Why do I have to leave here? God might need you somewhere else. And the one thing that I always realize about a lot of people, especially those who say that they're walking with Christ, is that if Jesus came right now and said, pack all your stuff, pack up everything, no matter of fact, God is not even going to tell you to bring everything. God is going to probably tell you to pack real light. God is going to say, get that one carry-on bag, take whatever you can fit in that bag, and come with me. I guarantee you, a lot of people are going to have a lot of problems and dilemmas with that. So I said, you know what, God, because again, my messages are God inspired. I don't want people thinking I'm just making this up. So if we read throughout the Bible, you are going to read that people traveled places, right? God told them to go here. God told them to go there. Because where God was sending them, that's where their blessings were going to be. Your blessings might not be in your current location. Your blessings might be in the location that God is sending you. It might be a location that you don't know anyone. It might be a location where you don't have a current job available, where you might not know where your apartment is going to be. But God is saying, if you trust me, if you fully say, I trust you, Lord, I believe in all that you have and all that you can do for me. So that means that if God says, move here to another location and I'm going to fully bless you, then would you do it? So he sent me to Genesis, right? The book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 3 and 4, right? Then he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation there. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up again, and Joseph's own hand shall close your eyes. Right? So that means, what was God saying? In order for you to have this great nation, okay? In order for you to have this great nation, you have to go down where? He had to go down to Egypt. In order for him to receive his blessing, he had to go where? He had to go to Egypt. So in order for you to get that business the way that God sees it and the way that God is showing you, God might tell you go somewhere else. God might say leave New York and go to Denver, Colorado. Because if you go there, then I'm going to bless you. I'm going to make your business great. But if you stay here in New York, your business is not going to be as great as I see fit for you. It's not going to be a blessing the way that I see it. So some of us are staying in this comfort zone. Yeah, you might have quit your job. You might have said, I'm going out there, I'm doing it. But you're staying still in your comfort zone because you're not going where you're supposed to. I know people that are in ministry and they are afraid to travel. They have said it to me. Or you can kind of just get that feeling. If God told you to go to different countries to minister, some people won't do it. Well, I can't do that because, I got to pay my bills, because, I got to secure my job. But if God told you to go here, that means that God is going to do what? He is going to provide for you. I met someone the day that I did the conference with the other Shanae McDonald. McShanae had a gentleman there, and he shared his story that really inspired me, and it clicked everything that God was saying to me. He said God told him to go to a whole nother country, and he was going to provide for him. He said he took his daughter with him to the United Kingdom, to the UK, from the United States to the UK. And he said he did not know where he was going. He didn't know how he was going to survive. He didn't really have the resources to go, but he still trusts in God. And he made the business connections that he needed to make in order for him to come back and say, I totally commit to God. Some of us are so afraid of that. And when I tell you, a lot of us would be more blessed if we would just pack up whatever God say take and go where God says go. Sometimes where you are located might not be your blessing. Some of us we're attached to a location, and that attachment is really going to hinder us. Okay, so when I say it's going to hinder us, and this one might hurt some people, but this also will prove if you idolize people, a location, more than you idolize God. So sometimes people would say, well, I can't leave because I can't leave my church, or I can't leave my job because, I love my job. I love my boss. But God is saying, do you love me more than this job? Do you love me more than this building? Because the church is just a building. So which one are you going to choose? And there are a lot of people who end up dying. And when we go to the gravesite, here you are seeing a dream that has died. That dream is no longer living because that person did not fulfill it the way God needed them to. God might tell you to go somewhere else. And that might be the struggle, Jennifer. The struggle really might be, I need you to go somewhere else. Florida might not be the place that I need you to be. And so what some people don't want to do, because we idolize jobs, locations, people, this person is here, so I can't leave this person. No, you might need to pick up and go. Christina, thank you for joining, because Christina's part of my motivation for this video. You might not know it, but I appreciate and I love Christina so much. So, again, you might not have the apartment, you might not have the job, but if you know in your heart that where you are today is not going to fulfill you, then you need to go somewhere else. And sometimes you really might have to just pick up and go and just figure it out when you get there. Now, that's not the way that we're supposed to do it, right? We're supposed to always have a plan. But guess what? Every plan is not your plan. If you follow God's plan, if God said, I need you to go right now, I need you to go to this city, I need you to go to this state or this country, and I have you, some of us are going to miss out on some amazing things because we won't pick up and we won't go. So we have to make this choice. Again, I want us to remember our blessings are attached also to a location. Our blessings are attached to a location. If God did not say, go to Egypt and I will make your nation great. So some of us are really struggling here in New York, right? I know people right now working 3 jobs just to pay their rent in New York City, because that's how tough it is. And when you give them the idea, well, why don't you start looking out of state? Because I was born and raised here, and I was born and raised in Bed-Stuy, and I'm staying in Bed-Stuy because that's my home. And okay, great. So now you're gonna sacrifice, and you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna overwork yourself. Now you're gonna have poor health. So now you're gonna have to go to more doctor's appointments. Like, I could just see all the negatives in this. So if you can have a better quality of life, moving to a whole nother city, why wouldn't you want to do that? Oh, because you were born and raised in Bed-Stuy. But God says your blessing is not here. I know for a fact my long-term purpose is not in New York. I have assignments, right? Right now I am on 2 assignments. And God says you need to stay here to fulfill those 2 assignments. But I know long-term, Tanisha is not going to be in New York full-time. I don't know what city, I don't know what state, I don't know what country God is going to send me. But I know that New York is not my full-time assignment. New York is not where my full-time purpose is. So, and again, how do I know that? Because I spoke to God. When God shows me look at your visions, right? Some of you, let me tell you, this is how I tell people all the time. When you see your visions, right? Imagine your vision it has you on the beach, right? With clear water, right? And this is where God is saying you're going to live. You're going to have your business on this beach. But you open up your business in front of the corner and all you see is snow, garbage, and trash. That's not matching up to the vision. So this is where you need to go to God and say, okay, God, I saw the vision. I know I see the environment, I see the surroundings, but God, in my current situation, I don't see that. So Lord, what do I need to do so that I can get to the destination that you have for me? And so this is where when God speaks to you back. So when you pray, that's your way of communicating. Now you have to listen to God. And God is going to give you the blueprints. He's going to give you the strategy. He's going to tell you who to contact. He's going to point you in a direction. But then you have to obey. And sometimes that means leaving family, leaving friends, leaving the church, leaving the job, leaving all of those things and packing up everything and going to that destination. Because if this is your purpose, okay, if this is your purpose, and this is something that you truly love to do, then the location should have no matter. If God told me right now to pack up and go move to Alaska and to be Miss Inspiration there and inspire, I don't know how many people live in Alaska, then guess what? I can't say, Lord, I don't want to move to Alaska because, I have to pack up because that means that I'm not being obedient. So this is why I always tell people, why are you staying here? Are you staying here because God told you to stay? Or are you staying here because you want to stay? Because then this is where we find ourselves confused in whether or not we are going by God's plan or we going by our own plan. This is why I tell people, we have to stop mismatching. We have to stop trying to modify God's plan. Because if we really execute, right, it is fear the unknown, right? But then also sometimes, Jen, it's not really fear the unknown. It's really just sometimes we like to stay in this big comfort zone. Like, nah, I want to stay here in the big city, right? I want to have the big city life, and I want to have the high-rise apartment overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge, because this is what I'm accustomed to. So many people just want to stay in their comfort. It's not that they're afraid, because they're still executing those business plans. They're still making those connections, but they're not reaching the limits. I mean, they have the limits because they're not understanding that there's still more that they can accomplish. Some people are comfortable saying, oh, I have my own business and I make $100,000 a year. They're comfortable with that. But God is saying, but I'm going to send you somewhere and you're going to make $500,000 in 6 months, right? God is like, I'm not going to limit your ability, but I need you to go. I need you to move. I need you to go to this location, because when you move to this location, this is where I'm going to bless you. Your blessings, your miracles are attached to locations. So sometimes you might struggle in your current state, in your current location, because that's not where God needs you. God does not need you in this location doing this at this point in this season. Now, that doesn't mean that God is not going to bring you back to your location. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be a blessing at some point in time in your current location, but you might need to start somewhere else. You might need, like, I know me. Right now, New York, when it comes to health and wellness, New York is oversaturated. We have like 1 billion gyms. We have like 1,000 everything in New York, right? Every other corner has a juice bar now. But God is saying, no, this is not where I need you. This is not where it's going to really start. The kickoff is not going to be here. I'm not going to disclose the 2 states that God keeps speaking to me loud and clear. And I'm just like, all right, Lord, you keep mentioning these 2 locations. Lord, you just give me the blueprint. You give me the strategies. I'm going to make those connections so that when these 2 assignments that I'm on here in New York, when they're completing, God, I'm going to go. I have to go. That means that, yes, I might have to sublet my apartment so that I can still balance my budget. But then I still have to go. Okay? I still have to go because I have to be obedient. If I want to see the true ability of all that God can do, then I have to go. And sometimes we're afraid to do that. Sometimes we want that, well, I need my job security because I need that 401k. But what if God told you that his blessings is greater than a 401k? A lot of people don't like to hear that. God's blessings, God's miracles, the way that God's going to take care of you is better than anyone's 401k. Sometimes you have to just believe that God's going to take care of you. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to struggle. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have some moments, because everyone goes through something. I mean, every time you read the Bible, right? Every time they had to go somewhere, they had to overcome some kind of trial or tribulations. Right? They didn't just go from point A to point B and it was nothing. Somebody died. The donkey sat down, right? They ran out of water. They ran out of food. Something happened. So why do you think that for you to go from point A to point B, it's going to be a hop, skip, and a jump? We can't expect that. Like, we have to realize that everyone has a journey. My journey is not going to look like Jennifer's. My journey is not going to look like Edward's. But my journey is my journey. But I know that Jennifer had challenges getting. I know Edward had challenges getting to his. So I have to understand that no matter what, I am going to have some level of challenges throughout my journey. And that's what I think I love about the Bible. The Bible is just giving you an idea of what you can go through. It doesn't mean that's all that you're going to go through. That doesn't mean that it's going to be identical. But that does mean that, guess what? Anticipate that you're going to have challenges. Anticipate as you are going on this journey with God, right? This is your journey. God says, come with me. But God says, just know, no matter what, you're going to endure some kind of storm. A storm is going to come somewhere, somehow. Right? But we have to go on that journey with him, because if we truly believe in him, if we truly love God, then that means that, you know what? I believe in you. I trust you. I know you have me. I know that you're going to carry me. So if God told you to leave that job, or God told you to pack up all your stuff and go to another city or go to another state, then I need you to go. I need you to make sure, one, just continue to pray, continue to listen, but just make sure when it comes down to taking that action step, that you actually obey. Obey God. Obey him. Your location has everything to do with your blessings. If you're not receiving the amount of abundance and the blessings and prosperities, all that you're being prophesied and someone is telling you about, then guess what? You might need to check, where is my location? Where am I supposed to be? I'm supposed to be somewhere, and it might not be here. So Lord, tell me, direct me in the right location. Tell me where I need to go, because I'm feeling right now it's not here. I'm feeling right now I might need to go to Egypt. I might need to go somewhere else. So guide me, Lord, and this is where God is going to take you. But as you're reading the journey, as you're reading the Bible, like I said, I gave you Genesis 46 verses 3 and 4. God is going to be with you, right? God said, "I am with you." So He is with you as you're making those steps, right? You're going to the location He is sending you. So you have to just pick up and go. Stop trying to stay in a location because you're attached to a church or you're attached to a job. You know what? Some of you, I know I meet a lot of people. Well, I didn't meet my husband, or I didn't meet my wife. Guess what? This might be a motivation for some people. Your husband or wife might be in that location waiting for you. How about that? How about that? How about the man or the woman that God designed for you to marry might be in the location that you don't want to go? So just think about it that way. Of course, Edward, they are comfortable. And then this is the reason why people end up in the wrong relationships, people end up in the wrong jobs, or people end up bitter and miserable because the business that, well, God gave me this business idea and it didn't work out. God was wrong. No. Check yourself. God was not wrong. You were wrong because you did not read all the instructions, right? So when you read all the instructions that God gave you, He also gave you a location, but you was like, I'm from New York. I'm a die New Yorker, so guess what? I'm not leaving New York. I'm not moving to California. Why not? If my blessings is attached to California, Bridget, guess what? We will be in California together. If God said pack up right now and go to Florida, Jennifer, we'll be neighbors. Guess what? I'm going where God tells me to go. And I don't care, right? I don't care. And I need people to understand that. You might not have everything that you want because you might not be in the location that you are supposed to be in, okay? You might not have all that you want. You might not have all that you desire because you might not be in the location that God has appointed you. God might have appointed you to go somewhere else, and you're being stubborn, you're being disobedient, and you are staying in the wrong location. Again, remember, locations, your blessings and your miracles are also attached to locations. So let's just pick up and go. Right? God said go somewhere else. Just go. Give Him a chance. Right? Sometimes we have this battle and it's like, no, I don't want to go there. You know, some people, like I said, I tell people all the time, your ideal job, your perfect job might be in a whole nother city, just like a city away, a town away. Oh no, I don't want to go to that town. But that job might be, the perfect job will be right there, a town away. But you don't want to drive. I don't want to drive that way. Oh, you know, it's much traffic over there. We make a lot of excuses as to why we don't want to do something. It's too hot over there. It's too cold over there. It's too this. It's too that. Come on now, really? Seriously? If God is saying you go here, I'm gonna give you the land, the milk and honey, right? I'm gonna give you, your business is gonna be, it's gonna be the bomb. Like, you're gonna make $1 million in 2 years. Because God, according to that article I read, they said that you can't make you don't make a profit until 5 years. God is like, wait, I said, and you gonna tell me what the article said? See, these are the problems that we have because we listen to everyone else and we don't listen to God. Be obedient to the Lord. Just be obedient to him. Give him a chance. Let him take you on this journey. Like, just be fully obedient. Like, say, you know what, Lord, I surrender it. If you say my husband is over here, then my husband is over there. If you say my wife is over there, I'm going. Right? Then go. Give the Lord a chance. Understand, Jesus didn't stay in one location, right? That's another motivation. Jesus didn't stay. Jesus was not a pastor at one church. Jesus had to travel, right? Jesus had to go, and he had to do what? He had to heal people along his way. He had to go and preach the word along his way. So why do you think that happened? Now, were there priests and pastors in locations that were housed? Yes. But if you have a certain gift, I'm going to just say that. If you have a certain gift, that gift actually requires you to travel. That gift does not mean for you to be stationed. It does not mean for you to be in one location. That gift might mean that you need to actually go somewhere else multiple times. And I don't mean in just different parts of the city. It actually might mean for you to go out of the city and out of the state. It might mean for you to go out of the country because this is what the kind of gift that God gave you. Telling y'all need to pray on this. A lot of you need to pray on this. A lot of you are very unhappy in your circumstances right now. And a lot of it has to do with your location. You're not receiving all that you really need to receive. God is like, I'm only sprinkling out from the windows of heaven. I want to pour them out on, but you're not listening to me. Like Edward said, the disobedient selective hearing. That's exactly what it is. You want to hear what you want to hear. Oh, no. All right, God, I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to preach, Lord, but I'm only going to preach in this building. That's it. God is like, I need you to preach in all 50 states. Now go. Some people are like, I can't do that because I got to stay with my job. Nope, I can't do that because, my family is here, right? My kids are in school. Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm pretty sure Blue Ivy has a personal teacher, personal tutor that goes on the road with them. It can happen. You can afford it too one day. Don't worry. Stop making excuses. If you truly believe that God is going to take care of you and you want to really live in the true abundance of what God is trying to, then just remember that different location, it might really be in a different location is going to come with a whole lot of blessings and a whole lot of miracles. So I'm done. I'm done. All right. I've been up all day. Like, I've been on the radio. I'm tired. But I had to release that. And I knew that was not a message that I can do in the morning, right? I can't do that. In the morning, I have a small amount of time. So I hope this message has definitely helped you. I hope it has touched you. I hope it has opened up your eyes that you really might be the problem because you're trying to limit your abilities. Let God really be in control in all things that you do. Allow God to have all abilities to take you to where he needs you to be. And a lot of the times that really might means that you need to relocate, or you might end up being one of those people that have to travel for the Lord. Okay? So guys, if this message has helped you, has blessed you, I do ask that you share this message so that your Facebook friends and followers, that they have an opportunity to also receive this same message. That's all that I'm asking. So again, my name is Tanisha Shanee. Thank you for joining me. If you want to learn more about me, purchase any of my books, you can go to my website, TanishaShanee.com, TANISHASHANEE.com. Have a great night. I love you, and as always, you know, God loves you too. Thank you, guys.